Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Top 5 Saturdays Live with me, Chase Lee, and my co-host,
Ryan Sutfield.
That's fucking right. And hey, listen, if you're new to this show, what we do is there's movies that come out on Friday, and we'll take like a certain director, actor, what have you, and we will make a top 5 list pertaining to a movie coming out that weekend. And the cool thing about this show is that it's live, so I have no idea what's going to come out of this cesspool of my mouth. And it's also live, so we don't know each other's lists. We don't know what's going to happen. It's craziness ensues, guys. But it's all good. We keep it PG, fucking family friendly. I'm kidding. But anyways, Brian, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, man?
You know, it's a shitty day at work, and that's okay though. I like talking about movies. So this is nice and relaxing for me. So before we introduce the episode and what we're going to be covering today, we have a guest. And he is a filmmaker, a movie enthusiast, a reviewer. He's basically a jack of all trades, kind of like what I am, and kind of like what Brian is. So it is William Bond-Num. What is going on, sir?
Oh, not much. I'm speaking of movie enthusiasm. I am really excited for next week, as I'm sure both of you are as well. I am also currently working at a movie theater, so that seems like a very fitting job for someone as myself. Though I want to focus on working on actual films and such, while right now I'm mainly handling weddings and such, which is good work too. I would definitely recommend any of you out there who are seeking any sort of experience with really high quality stuff. Weddings are a great place to learn how to make really good shots and really good editing techniques, as well as learning how to make music fit in weddings. Also, I did review a lot for Wheel of Film back in the day, and I may have something coming up next week, so keep your eyes peeled.
Oh, shit. Yeah, no, you know what's really funny is, like, William's like a spitting image of me. So at 16, I started out in a movie theater. I worked there for 6 years. It was shit, but that's okay, though. It's all about free movies, right?
Yeah. But I will tell you, I am working at an independent movie theater, so all we have to deal with is senior citizens for the most part, so it's not that bad.
Hey, listen, man, those are my favorite types of theaters. Living in Dallas, I got like 2 of them down the road, so it's awesome. And Brian gets super mad at me when I'm like, hey, Brian, there's an independent film playing down the road, and Brian sees it like in 3-4 months from now. So, yeah, it's great having you on, man. It's always nice to have a guest and kind of diversify the list a little bit because, I mean, come on. Do people really watch the show and get, like, do they really get excited when me and Brian do stuff? No, they don't. They get sick and tired of us. So it's nice to have a little mix. So, Brian, would you like to introduce today's episode, please?
Yeah, in honor of In the Heart of the Sea, we were talking about our top 5 Ron Howard films. The best ginger director in Hollywood. So, yeah, that's cool.
You have fucking red hair. You're ridiculous. Actually, you know what's really funny is Ron barely has any hair left. So I mean, like, are you gonna still praise him, or like, what's going on?
I don't know. I mean, he was born a ginger. He still is a ginger.
Yeah, kind of. He's like a half ginger. So, yeah, we're gonna be doing Ron Howard films. And just to clarify, directed Ron Howard films, not acted. So, take American Graffiti out of there. Everyone, did anyone have that? No, that's okay. All right. So, yeah, we're gonna do Ron Howard directed movies. He's done a lot of them. Listen, I was introduced to this guy through my dad, because my dad's a huge Andy Griffith show fan. So I remember seeing Ron Howard when he was like the size of my knee on TV. And so, hey, I was always a huge fan of him. And I think my first Ron Howard film has got to be Apollo 13. It has to be, because it came out when I was in elementary school, I believe, and I probably watched it when I was a teenager and stuff. So I've always had a fond memory of him. And even if, like, there's a movie that you don't particularly like, he still delivers on a filmmaking level in terms of, like, really delivering his signature style and just a flow. And he's kind of, I'm not going to lie, he's kind of like a Steven Spielberg in the way he makes his movies and the way they feel like, you know, just grand old fantasy adventures, man. That's the way I've always perceived him. Brian, do you remember your first Ron Howard movie, and what do you think of him overall?
My first Ron Howard movie was probably The Grinch, because it was on a lot when I was a kid. My first exposure to him was probably Happy Days. Like, you watched Andy Griffith when you were younger. I watched Happy Days more when I was younger. I've seen episodes of Andy Griffith. I prefer Happy Days in a heartbeat. But overall, I think he's a great director. I think he has a great taste in film. I mean, he's done a lot of genres. He's done comedies, dramas, big scope films. He's done a lot of stuff, and he's a fantastic director. He's one of the best we've had, and he probably is the best actor turned director we've ever had, really. Because he started off as an actor, then he became an Oscar-winning director.
Yeah, it's really hard to do, and you're right, man. It kind of goes to my point of a Spielberg, where he's kind of like touched on every single genre, which is great. So, William, what is your do you remember your first Ron Howard directed film, and like what do you think of him overall?
My first was also Apollo 13.
Nice.
I've considered Tom Hanks's '90s run as one of the golden ages of cinema that people don't put in textbooks, but I do also think it was one of Ron Howard's best films, and we'll definitely go further into that. He's always been somebody I've liked, not just from an acting standpoint, but also as a visionary. He's very good at making a world feel believable no matter what the situation is, even if it's as goofy as Willow and Grinch, or if it's as dramatic and awe-inspiring as Cinderella Man or A Beautiful Mind. He knows how to make really solid films, even if the content may not be as perfect as you'd want it to be. He can still deliver from a production standpoint, and Apollo 13, I will never forget seeing it for the first time, because before anything, I wanted to be an astronaut, and Apollo 13 made me a little scared about going in outer space.
Yeah, that's how I was with Gravity. As soon as I walked out there, I was like, oh, cool, I'm not ever fucking doing that, thank you. So, yeah, no, Ron's made a slew of movies, and I'm curious to see their lists and stuff, because I got two things to say. One, I'm sorry, Dad. I'm not a huge fan of Andy Griffith. I'm glad you introduced it to me, but I'm more of a Leave It to Beaver type of guy. And then a second thing, there's a lot of Ron Howard movies that I have not seen. I'm going to just tell you straight up. Cinderella Man, I've not seen it. Most of his older stuff, have not seen it. So, shoot me. Like, I don't know how to. Listen, I'll catch up on it. Just calm down.
Listen. I will be honest with you as well. I haven't seen a lot of his movies either. In terms of his catalog, I've seen maybe almost a little over a third, if not close to half. But I've seen a few of his movies, and if you haven't seen all of them, that just means you have an opportunity to see them for the first time, like people did before. So
that's true. That's true. So I mean, Brian's pretty silent over there. Brian, have you seen every single one of them?
No. There are quite a few of them that I haven't seen that I've yet to see, but I've seen more of his recent films from like the beginning of the century till now. I've seen pretty much all of the films that came out this century directed by him. Most of his early work I haven't seen. So yeah.
Yeah, we're everyone that's listening and watching right now, we're a bunch of fucking millennials. It's sickening. All right, so the way we're going to do this, since we got 3 people, I got my trusty board here. I'll write them down as we go. I'll let the guests go first. We'll go from 5 to 1. And then we'll have honorable mentions and dishonorable mentions, movies that we dislike. And then, of course, Brian will introduce next week's. So let's get this going. William, I'll let you start this one off. What is your number 5 favorite Ron Howard directed film of all time?
My number 5 would actually be How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Okay.
This was a movie that I literally had nothing really positive looking forward to this movie. I did not think this would be good. I did not think this would be anywhere near good. And I walked out being very pleasantly surprised. The audience cheered at the end. They clapped. It was wow. I never expected that to happen with a movie like this. And I only went because I like Jim Carrey. For the longest time, I had no idea Ron Howard directed it. Even obviously it says his name in the credits, but I was very surprised. I was very surprised how the humor worked, how Jim Carrey was able to deliver on why the Grinch was such an endearing character he's actually been around for 50 years now, which is crazy. The sets for Whoville looked great, the gags were funny, and there are even some moments where I felt that adults could laugh at it almost as much as kids could. So it had that nice balance. And it felt like something that Ron Howard had a lot of passion put into it. Like this was something he grew up on, and he loved the story, and he did a very decent job adapting it. and I remember just doing impressions of it as a kid. So it still holds a little place in my heart to some degree, but at the same time, it's not its best, but it's one that I think is a little underrated these days.
Okay. Yeah, and just before we continue, if there is a movie that someone calls out that is on your list and you don't want to talk about until later, just say pass. So that interesting. Grinch number 5. Brian, what is your number 5?
My number 5 goes to Frost Nixon.
Interesting. That's one of the ones I have not seen. So can you sell it on me?
When you have Frank Langella and Michael Sheen, yes, given great performances back to forth, with him being Richard Nixon and Michael Sheen being some guy whose name I completely forgot. Richard Nixon is one of the most corrupt people on the planet. The reason why I've seen this movie is because my mom's a history teacher, and when she shows me historical movies, she knows the ones to show me because she knows the ones that I'll like, and this one I definitely love because of the strong dialogue by Peter Morgan, and this was based on a play in which the two actors starred in. And I remember just being into this movie, and I thought I was going to really not like this movie because I've told you this before, Chase. I'm not a fan of anything political related. I'm not really into that stuff, but when it's done right, it's done perfectly well. And because of the strong dialogue and the fast pace of this movie, it works so damn well that it's definitely one of Ron Howard's most underrated films. It was nominated for Best Picture. Ron Howard was nominated for Director. Frank Langella was nominated for Best Actor. It's a great film. It's definitely one of the best political films of the last 10 years, and I highly recommend it.
Interesting. I think I'll. Oh shit! What was that? It was either on Netflix or Hulu. It was somewhere, and I was like, I'll check it out if I get drunk off of whiskey or something. So yeah, no, that's a pretty good pick. I'll definitely check it out. I have not seen it. So my number 5. I don't care what anyone says. I've liked it from the first day I saw it, which was I was in high school, and if you look at it as kind of like a basic thriller, you'll like it. Did I like its sequel? No. But I'm going to tell you this right now. As someone that's non-religious, I enjoyed the fuck out of the Davinci Code. I don't care what anyone says. That's right, William. You fucking laugh, sir. But listen.
No. I'm not religious either, and the movie's not bad. I will say that. It's not bad, but speak your piece.
Yeah, it's a decent little thriller, and plus I don't know much about like that book or whatever, and I was glued to my seat. I was like, oh cool, how is this going to tie? Listen, was it memorable? Not really, but I do remember at that point in time when I was a teenager and I watched it, I did remember it for a good while, and I really enjoyed what I saw and stuff, but as I got older, not so much. Didn't really care for Angels and Demons. I'm kind of curious about the third one, but on a decent thriller standpoint, I think it's fine. And plus, Tom Hanks looks fucking weird in long hair, so don't ever have that again. Other than that, like, it's like what William said, like, Ron's, like, production design, the way he, like, crafts his movies, it's very engrossing no matter what movie it is, and this is no exception. It's just that the story is kind of, whatever, but I did enjoy it for that. As you guys can tell, I have not seen many Ron Howard movies, so I had to put that in there, or I would have a top 3 list. So, yeah, Davinci Code, whatever. It's a nice little thriller. So, would anyone like to comment on that?
The Davinci Code is a movie that I remember watching it and thought to myself, this is interesting. Okay, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. And I finished it and had no regrets about watching it. I didn't care to see it again, but I had no regrets watching it. I liked Ian McKellen in the movie. I liked Tom Hanks a lot. The girl he was with, she was a good actress. Paul Bettany was pretty creepy in the movie. I'm glad that Paul Bettany is the Vision right now, but I also think that the Da Vinci Code is better than Angels and Demons. I'll definitely just go ahead and say that. But he definitely had a good style with the film, and he got to shoot in a lot of really cool locations, some of which I've actually walked around in, so I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, guys, it's a decent little thriller. That's all I gotta say. Brian, would you like to comment on this?
I didn't care for the Da Vinci Code, in all honesty. I didn't really care for it.
All right, cool. I'm glad I'm in the fucking shitter right off the bat. Thanks, gentlemen. All right, so, But that's my fault because I haven't seen that many of his films. All right, so William, you're up, bud. What is your number 4 pick?
My number 4 is actually A Beautiful Mind. A Beautiful Mind is, I believe, Ron Howard's first collaboration with Russell Crowe. And this is a movie where Russell Crowe barely punches people. So, for those of you who haven't seen the movie, do keep in mind, this is a movie where Russell Crowe barely punches people. It's actually a movie about John Nash. This is based on true events where this man, who is a brilliant scientist, who actually figured out all these crazy, interesting... it's hard to explain without seeing the movie, but it's... even I have trouble really explaining it. It seems so advanced, but basically he was able to figure out this really incredible thing, and then became this big success. He was able to work at this really nice place. He was able to teach students, but then the government decides that they want him to crack these codes that the Soviets may have involving nukes, because this is the beginning of the Cold War. So he decides he wants to help out, but he can't tell his new girlfriend, who's played by Jennifer Connelly. And Ed Harris is the guy who's kind of leading him on in the government, trying to get him to do these things in secret. But the fear and the anxiety that he has with fear that the Russians can come after him and anyone he cares about leads him to a state of some craziness up in here, to where his mind goes from being the source of all that makes him great to being something that's really causing a lot of problems in his life. And I don't want to spoil anything for... Have you two seen A Beautiful Mind?
I have not. But
I have.
Oh, well,
thank you
for spoil anything else, because that's the point of the movie is everything that's going on with Russell Crowe's character, both internally and physically, that makes it so good and makes it so fascinating that it's kind of heartbreaking to watch at times. It's a great film.
So I guess another confession: I have not seen A Beautiful Mind. Don't shoot me. No, I never got around to it. I apologize, but thank you for selling me on it, because I definitely want to see it now. So
Paul Bettany's in that movie too.
I mean, Paul Bettany's fucking everywhere. So Brian, would you like to comment, or would you like to? Whoa. I'm going to guess that A Beautiful Mind is probably in your top 2.
I'm just going to say pass.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'm probably right. Once again, that's just how it works. So, all right, Brian, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is Parenthood.
I've never seen that one, but I was reading his list now.
I love Parenthood.
Is it good?
Oh, it's fantastic. Steve Martin's amazing here. And also, I adore the show that just ended earlier this year. That show was perfection. Talk about a show that had a unique blend of comedy and drama. That show was just perfect from beginning to end. What I love about this is that every character has a shining moment. Steve Martin really is fantastic here, and he still has gray hair here. I looked this up. This movie came out in '89, and he was 45 when he made this, and he already had gray hair. He looks the exact same as he did back in the early '80s, and that's a fact. It's the truth. I was just watching Planes, Trains, and Automobile yesterday in school, and like I just couldn't believe how he looks the exact same. But like this movie really is, I think, Ron Howard's perfect comedy drama blend. Like it just works so well. He made another movie a few years later that was supposed to be a comedy drama that didn't work very well, that I'll talk about in my dishonorable mentions, or maybe it'll end up being my worst. Who knows? But Parenthood is a great film. There's a lot of great performances, and Keanu Reeves is in it too, so that's pretty badass. Where he's not killing people and saying that he's back.
Well, Brian, you motherfucker, you set it up because you knew. Oh my God, do you want me to do it?
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. Thanks, Keanu. So anyways, no, listen, I've heard a lot of good things about the show and about the movie and stuff. I'll definitely check it out. But if we're going to go TV shows, the best Ron Howard TV role ever, and it's not even Andy Griffith or Happy Days, it's the narrator on Arrested Development. That is his best role. So, all right. Anyways, yeah. So no, I'll definitely have to check out both of those. See, guys, I'm so fucking behind on Ron Howard. I'm sorry. All right. So my number 4. Okay, I gotta be honest. Since I haven't seen that many of his movies, I chose this purely because I saw it once as a kid. and I was going through puberty, and Daryl Hannah looked awesome. I'm gonna go with Splash. So, listen, gentlemen, just calm down. Just it's hi, deal. Okay, so I remember when I did see it though. I enjoyed kind of like the fantasy comedy element and stuff, and plus I like Tom Hanks. So I remember when I did see it as a teenager. Not only was Daryl Hannah awesome and kind of hot, but I enjoyed like kind of like the fantasy feel of it and how it felt like this really cool myth or whatever that Ron Howard was tackling or whatever. I don't know. I just enjoy it. It's a lighter movie from his catalog, that's for damn sure. But I enjoyed it just on an entertainment kind of value. Guys, I haven't seen it in a while, and I had to put it on there because it's one of the only few ones I have seen. So, would you guys like to comment on it or a pass?
I will comment in saying that I have not seen Splash, but I do want to see more of Tom Hanks' early work because I saw Sleepless in Seattle for the first time this week, so I want to watch more of his older stuff. I've seen quite a bit. It's just there's some that I missed out on over the years I'd like to watch because as it's clearly been stated for this whole episode, Tom Hanks is one of my favorite people.
Yeah, no, speaking of old Tom Hanks movies, I know we're going off topic, but just real fast, I saw, is it Bachelor Party for the first time?
Was that the first movie he was in?
I think so, and that was hilarious. I want to see him do more comedies like that. So
he's great in comedies.
Yeah, just a little side note, Tom Hanks, if you got strapped to a chair somewhere in a warehouse and they force you to listen to this piece of shit podcast, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Do another raunchy comedy, we will love you. All right, so, gentlemen, we're getting into our top threes. Now, William, I don't know you, but I think I'm going to try to guess your top three. Just like with Brian, I do every single week, and I crush it. I crush it. Brian just weeps every single week because I get it right every single time. See, Brian, don't lie to our guests. All right, I'm joking. So, all right. You like Apollo 13, but I think you're going to say that for your top two. I'm going to assume, like I said, I don't know you, but I'm going to assume that you liked Rush. So that's got to be on there somewhere.
Oh, so, the band's great. The band is totally, yeah, I like the movie too.
This is tough. I'm going to go and let you answer your number three, and I'll probably guess your top two. So, William, what is your number three?
I'm going to be amazed if you actually guess what my number three is for favorite Ron Howard movies, because this is one that I randomly will find on TV, and when it's on, I just watch it. And it's Ransom.
I've never seen that one, so sell me on it.
Alrighty then. So Ransom is about Mel Gibson and Rene Russo. No, this is not a Lethal Weapon sequel. They decide they have a boy. They're living nicely and happily. They're rich and all that good stuff. But then Gary Sinise comes along, and he decides to kidnap the boy for, you guessed it, a ransom. And this leads into a very interesting conflict between Mel Gibson and Gary Sinise in a battle of wits and a battle of pretty much trying to keep themselves from exposing themselves to the other through their insecurities of trying to figure out how can we get this kid back safely. And it's an intense movie. It's suspenseful. There's a really great scene in the movie where, did you ever see the Time Machine movie? Not Back to the Future, but like a movie called The Time Machine.
Are you talking about the Guy Pearce remake?
Yeah, or any of them. I guess the Guy Pearce remake would probably be the one that they actually refer to. There is a great scene where Gary Sinise is following Mel Gibson, he's giving him instructions, and he's talking about that movie with him. That and one of the last scenes of the movie is probably some of the best stuff I've seen Ron Howard do. It's great. It's actually free on YouTube if you want me to send you a link to it afterwards.
Dude, you gotta fucking get off this show, man. You've hyped me up for A Beautiful Mind and Ransom, and I love The Grinch, and you're hyping me up to even see that again. Just stop it. You're selling me on movies. Stop that shit. All right.
Oh, just wait for the top two. Just wait for the top two.
Oh, I already probably know what it is. So, actually, I'm going to go and call it right now. I'm going to go and call an early bet. I think William and I have the same top two. I'm going to just throw it out there. So take that for what you will. I think we have the same top 2. Brian, would you like to comment on Ransom, or would you like to go to your pick?
My son is dead. Go to hell. I love Ransom. Ransom is a damn good film.
Oh my God.
That's what he says.
I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know if you're fucking yelling at me or what.
No, he's being Mel Gibson. He has to yell.
That's true.
My son.
All right, Brian. So, what is your number 3?
My number 3 goes to Apollo 13.
Okay, why is that so low?
I'll tell you why it's so low.
Why the fuck is that so low?
Because my top 2 films are better than Apollo 13.
Okay.
You're just saying that because you haven't seen any of the Ron Howard films that we brought up.
That's
but
true.
Apollo 13 is still awesome. It's still a damn good film. You got Tom Hanks, Kevin Bacon, and Bill Paxton in one ship. It's awesome. And for a PG rated movie, it's actually a really intense film. What I love about it, I love space films. I love sci-fi films. And already right there, they got me on the hook. And this was right after Forrest Gump, so everyone was already excited to see what Tom Hanks was going to do again, because maybe they're like, oh, could he go for his 3rd Oscar in a row? Let's see what happens. And Apollo 13 is a damn good film. It's a kick-ass, badass film. It works so well for what it is. It's engaging. Some people might think it's a long film. I thought that when I was a little kid, but then as I got older, I watched it more and I appreciated it more for what it was. And I think it's a damn good film. It's an important film because the Apollo 13 mission was an important piece of history, and the movie captures it so well, and it captures the horrors of being in space, just like what Gravity did, and that's why I love Apollo 13. It's a damn good film. Tom Hanks is great. Gary Sinise is great. Bill Paxton. Kevin Bacon. Who else is in there? Is Ed Harris in this movie?
Ed Harris is in it. Gary Sinise. Okay. And who played Tom Hanks' wife in it?
Was it Rita Wilson?
Maybe. It might be. I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
That's his real life wife. For all you people that want little facts throughout this show, there you go. Anyways, Brian. So, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so yeah, Apollo 13, great choice. I'm gonna go ahead and pass. Ooh, where is it at? Where in the fuck is it at? Okay, I'm gonna do my number 3, and then this is gonna get really dirty. This is gonna get really sweaty and gross because I'm gonna dive deep into this, and I'm going to call both your lists, and it's gonna be great. I'm gonna totally rock this. All right, so for my number 3, I remember when I saw this. Because I think it came out when I was 10. I remember when I saw this, and I was so frightened as to what I was seeing, but I loved it at the same time. And I was like, I don't want to know Jim Carrey, because he's probably got the Grinch outfit somewhere in his fucking closet, and he probably scares kids on the weekends. He is fucking terrifying, but god damn it, this movie's so much fun. Now, if you want to say what is the best Dr. Seuss adaptation we've had so far, I would say this is probably my favorite one. Let's not discuss Cat in the Hat. So, yeah, gross. I just want to throw up. I think Brian just died.
That's my least favorite film ever made.
Well, I think Mike Myers in a cat suit is just terrifying for everyone. No, but The Grinch, it captures this kind of like weird, dark sense of humor with the great production. It's got some of the best production design Ron Howard has ever done. It's like what William said. Whoville looks great. The colors are popping everywhere. It's like Dr. Seuss's book just threw up on screen, and it works. And I love Jim Carrey's eccentric attitude to the Grinch. It's so awesome. And like I said, the production design just elevates that kind of like magic fantasy level to where it kind of takes your mind to that place, and you feel like you're in Whoville. That's what's great about it. It's just a really fun kind of family movie that you want to watch around Christmas. Like it just puts you in that Christmas mood with this weird kind of gross sense of humor. It's great. It's entertaining as shit. I need to rewatch it. That's what I'll probably do later. So yeah, my number 3 is The Grinch. All right, gentlemen. Brian, how many episodes have we done?
Over 25.
We've done a lot. And for like 25 out of 25, I always get Brian's perfectly. And he's always super angry. Okay. I think we all have the same number 2. Now, before I say what it is, William, what is your number 2?
Monday, Wednesday, Tom Sawyer. It is Rush. It is definitely Rush.
Hold that thought. Brian, is your second one Rush?
No.
What? Oh, my heart. My heart hurts so much. Okay, anyways, me and William have the same number 2. I thought Brian would go for his number 2 and put his number 1 at number 1 because I kind of knew what his... Anyways, I fucked up. I'm sorry. I got this one wrong, but I will redeem myself. So, since me and William got the same number 2, I'll let Brian go first, and then me and William will tag team Rush. So, Brian, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is Cinderella Man.
Oh, I forgot. You're a fucking boxing fan. I should have guessed that. God damn it, because I already know what your number 1 is, and I thought, okay, fuck. All right. Brian, why is Cinderella Man important to you?
I love boxing films, just like you said. I love sports films. Russell Crowe is amazing here, and he's physically fit, and he looks like he's so young in this movie. He looks younger than he did in A Beautiful Mind and Gladiator and LA Confidential. Like, he looks that young in this film. It's great. His performances. This is easily an extremely underrated film. It came out at a very wrong time. It came out in the summer. Should have gotten more Oscar nominations. Paul Giamatti was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, who is mind-blowing in this movie. Like, he is great in this movie. He kind of plays a nicer version of his character from Straight Outta Compton in this movie, so that's kind of something positive. And Renee Zellweger does a good job in this movie, too. But the boxing scenes are very involving. It takes place during the Great Depression, which is a heartbreaking time. And I love movies that take place during the Depression. Like, that's a really... Like I said, when you have a mom that's a history teacher, you kind of watch a lot of movies that take place during historical periods. And this one works very well. And also, I love sports films, like I just said. And all the performances are great. It's definitely one of Ron Howard's most underrated films. But I think us movie fans, we talk about it a lot because we really adore it. And it's something that everybody should watch. Boxing fan, sports movie fan, Ron Howard, Russell Crowe fan. You gotta watch this film because it's such a good film. Like, it's so engaging. I mean, the film's 2.5 hours long, but it flies by like that because it's so engaging. For me, at least, it is. And I just can't get enough of this movie. I wanted to include it on our boxing episodes list, but I just couldn't. It was that close. It was like number 6. So, but yeah, Cinderella Man. Excellent film. Jim Braddock, who was played brilliantly by Russell Crowe. I just love this film, and I can't wait. I was going to rewatch it again this week, but I didn't have time to do that. So yeah, Cinderella Man is my number 2. And by the way, before you get into Rush, I do like the film very much. I think it's a very, very good film. And fun fact, I don't know if anyone remembers this, but on We Live Film, when they did the collab reviews stuff, I hosted that episode. I introduced that video, and both of you were on it.
Yep, that's right.
Both of you were on it. That's the funny thing.
That was 2 fucking years ago, ladies and gentlemen. That's how fucking old we are. All right, so yeah. All right, so yeah, William, let's talk about Rush.
Sure. As I've stated multiple times, I'm also a fan of the band Rush, and that's my only real complaint with this movie is that there's no actual Rush music in it. Since it also is a movie that takes place around the time when Rush was pretty well known. But the movie itself is quite awesome, not just for the fact that it's a great sports movie. And speaking of sports, I would have had Cinderella Man in this top 5, but I was rewatching it today, and I haven't finished it yet, so I can't really give it a fair standing until I have finished it. So I'll more than likely finish it after we're through here. But with Rush, Daniel Bruhl and Chris Hemsworth play rivals that are really well-known racers, and just seeing the back and forth between the two of them and how it's affecting them not only at their profession but as people too was really engrossing. I was having my fists clenched throughout most of the movie. I could not blink. It's one of those movies that it just grabs you by the sack and doesn't let you let go. It's so good, and I hate that I've only seen it once. I've been wanting to buy it ever since, and I never got around to it. But I love the movie, and I want to watch it again.
Yeah, I'm actually with you. I've only seen it once, and that was the theater experience, which I will get to right now. That had to have been one of the best theater experiences I've ever been a part of. First of all, it was at a press screening, so there was like 400 people in there, and not only that, I hadn't seen a Ron Howard movie since the Davinci Code. I saw Chris Hemsworth as Thor. I didn't see him as an actor. I didn't know who Daniel Bruhl was. I didn't know what to expect. This movie is great. It's like what William said. It's so engaging to see Chris Hemsworth and Daniel Bruhl have this chemistry, fight butt heads, and it's got to be one of the most beautifully shot Ron Howard movies that he's ever done. All the racing scenes are gorgeous. It's like if David Fincher was with Ron Howard, like by his side, telling him how to shoot all these scenes. They were enthralling, they were visceral, great. Daniel Bruhl knocks it out of the park. I said when I did my review, I was like, this guy needs to be nominated for supporting actor. I don't care who you got to push out. Put that fucker in there. It's got to work. He blew me away. And then this was also the movie where I said, you know what, Chris Hemsworth? Not only are you a goddamn movie star, you're a goddamn good actor. So there was a lot of things that were going with this movie. It's one of my favorites for sure. I think it was definitely in my top 10 for 2013. I love that movie so much. And it kind of pains me that I haven't seen it more than once, but I will get to it. I will watch it at least twice. So, yeah. So
our New Year's resolution: watch Rush again.
Watch Rush again. Okay. So I'll definitely watch it like on December 31st next year. What the fuck are you doing?
What's that?
My God, your computer just fucking diarrheaed in my ear. Okay.
It diarrheaed in your ear? Is diarrheaed a word?
I just made that word, diarrheaed. Okay.
Diarrheaed. That is a new term.
It's like I am from the South, so that is the hick term. Diarrheaed all over the place.
Diarrheaed. They're just going to diarrhea in their ears and just have shit covered up all in their ears and can't hear anything.
I'm glad. Like, William, where do you live at?
I live in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay, so basically we have my co-host who lives in the fucking Northeast, and then we have like kind of a middle ground person attacking the one South person on this episode. Fuck you both. I hate you. Go away. All right, so
love you too.
Love you too, there, sweetheart. All right, so like I said, the first time I ever met William, but I'm gonna go ahead and assume right now that me and him have the same number one. And I called it. I told you guys we have the same top two. William, is your number one Apollo 13?
It absolutely is.
Boom. All right, so we will talk about that in a second. Brian, watch this. You guys watching this? Brian, is your number one A Beautiful Mind?
Yes, sir.
Oh, look at that. I'm such a genius. All right, Brian, go first. Why is The Beautiful Mind number one, and why is William wrong putting it at number 4?
You know what? William had a good list. So at least he put it in his top 5. That's an exception.
Hey! You guys stop that.
What?
I haven't seen it. Just calm down.
Beautiful Mind is... Hey, look at that. Cinderella Man. A Beautiful Mind, like William said, the story is just so brilliant of how this mathematician figured out this brilliant theory.
That's what it's supposed to.
And all of a sudden, his mind did not become beautiful anymore. So, I mean, like, it's a damn great film. It won Best Picture. Ron Howard won Best Director. Jennifer Connelly won Best Supporting Actress. Russell Crowe, in my opinion, should have won Best Actor. I mean, he won the year before for Gladiator, and he should have won for this. He won all the other awards for this film. But because there was some controversy surrounding him, they didn't give it to him. They gave it to my boy Denzel Washington for Training Day, which is totally fine. I would have picked if this film was not out the same year as Training Day, I would have picked Training Day in the heartbeat because that's like one of my top like 15 favorite films of all time. But yeah, the performance from Russell Crowe is heartbreaking, and also interesting fact: these two people, the people that are played by Russell Crowe and Jennifer Connelly, they actually just died earlier this year here in Jersey because they were from Jersey. They lived here. He taught at Princeton, which is like an hour away from me. I've been there. It's beautiful there, and it's a damn great film. And honestly, the most heartbreaking scene. Well, one of them is in a psych ward, and the other is involved in the bathtub, and Will knows exactly what scene I'm talking about. Like,
yeah, is a little I just kind of had that, but there's also that scene where Jennifer Connelly throws that shit at the mirror and starts bawling.
Yeah, she killed it here, and this is the kind of performance I like to see from her. Like this, like she. And fun fact, she's also married to Paul Bettany. That's a fun fact. Yeah, she's married to Paul Bettany.
Nice.
you're like
Paul Bettany.
You're just like, oh my god, that's fucking awesome.
No, but like overall, it's a genius film. It deserved the best picture. I'm glad that Ron Howard is an Oscar winner. I'm glad that he won for this film because it really is a beautiful film, pun intended. Like it really is a genius film. I watched it for the first time, I think, like last year, actually, around this time, and I've been waiting to see it. Everybody was telling me how I must see this. My parents were begging me to watch it, so I watched it. I was so into it, I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. Like, it was that good of a film. I love dramas. Drama might be my favorite genre, and this is the kind of drama that I like. Compelling story, great performances, excellent writing, and brilliant direction. And it's written by the guy who wrote Batman and Robin. So that's saying something.
And he won the Oscar for that movie.
Exactly.
Not Batman and Robin, A Beautiful Mind.
Yeah, excellent film. That's why it's my #1 Ron Howard film.
Excellent. You two have fucking sold me on that. I will watch that next year sometime when I'm drunk and alone and I just hate my life. All right, so William, let's talk about Apollo 13. Go ahead and go.
All right, so Apollo 13, Houston, we have a problem, and the problem is that this is my favorite. No, it's actually not a problem. It is my favorite Ron Howard movie, mainly because I've always loved it since I was younger. I've always loved Tom Hanks' performance and how since like I wanted to be an astronaut growing up, and I studied that kind of stuff. So seeing how well interpreted that time period and what they talked about and what they did on that mission and how it all screwed up and how they had to come back home, that was always fascinating to me, how they interpreted it while also doing a few different things. So I thought it was a great adaptation for that based on a true story event that also had really great practical effects, really awesome seeing them floating around. I think that was one of the first movies I can remember seeing actors floating like they are astronauts in space. That was always something that really blew me away, and the music got to me. Gary Sinise is always great. And I love everything about that movie. There's not one weakness to it in my mind, and I've been wanting to rewatch it lately anyway. So it's always been, to me, when I think a great Ron Howard movie, I think that one.
Yeah, no, it's no joke, man. Like, I was at a pawn store like literally 2 days ago. I found it for $1, and I totally bought it. So it's one of those movies that's emotionally investive, and you care about these people to where like you don't want anything bad to happen, but you kind of know what's going to happen. One of my favorite genres is space movies, and they're some of the most emotionally charged movies in history. It doesn't matter what the story is. You put people in space, you're going to be automatically attached. You're just like, fucking come home. Don't get stranded out there like Sandra Bullock, okay, flipping around doing wheelies and shit. Don't be doing...
Matt Damon being left on Mars.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. Oh, terrible. Terrible. Like, your heart just rips. But no, Apollo 13's got the emotional value to it. It's got fantastic acting, great practical effects. It's just a really engaging film that will just tear your heart out, and it's a great ride in space. And there's really nothing more to say. It's a well-crafted movie for sure. And just like what Brian said, why in the fuck is it rated PG? Don't show your kids that. They will be scarred for life. So that will do it, guys, for our top 5. Here's the fucking board. It's fucking magical. It looks like we have Apollo 13 in common. Brian does not have the Grinch, which I am disappointed in. Brian? Okay. You guys both have A Beautiful Mind. Gotta watch it. And, yeah, pretty good, damn good list. All right. So, William, we'll start with you first. What are some Ron Howard films that just barely made your didn't make your list. Like, you just barely were hanging on the edge and just came in at like number 6 or below.
Cinderella Man, because I haven't finished it today, I more than likely once it's finished, it will probably top the Grinch more than likely because it's been so good so far. But I would definitely have it be an honorable mention, just a movie that has to be seen. And then there's the Davinci Code and Angels and Demons. They're not bad films, they're just not up to par with the movies that I think are in the top 5 and Cinderella Man. But they are worth watching. I've never seen a bad Ron Howard movie. I've never seen a movie from. I've not seen a bad movie from him yet. So I can easily say that. In Angels and Demons, it's okay. It's okay. Davinci Code is better, I felt. And Parenthood, I really enjoyed growing up. It's a very funny movie. I haven't watched it lately, so I don't know where I would personally rank it.
Have you watched it?
But I love. I didn't even know that the show and the movie were the same thing. I just thought they had the same name. I didn't realize they were the same. It was the same thing. So
it is basically the same thing.
Surprised me.
It's on Netflix if you want to watch it. All the seasons are on Netflix.
The movie's not on Netflix.
I'm not sure if the movie's on Netflix. I know the show is.
Okay. But that's really all I've truly seen. I think Willow I saw as a kid, but I have very little memory of it.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say mine real fast. I don't have any. I have like one bad one. I mean, if you want to put honorable mention as like Angels and Demons, sure. I mean, it's not worse than the one I'm mentioning here shortly. But Brian, what are some of the ones that barely just escaped your list and just kind of fell by the wayside?
Rush and Ransom were 2 of them. Splash is 1 of them. Night Shift is Ron Howard's first film, by the way. It's with Henry Winkler and Michael Keaton. Damn good film. And Backdraft, the amazing firefighter film, directed by him. So that's cool. To talk about The Grinch, I think it's an okay film. I think as a kid I really loved it, but then as I grew up I kind of got a little annoyed by it, but I still love Jim Carrey in the role, and I love all the sets like you guys said, and the effects and the makeup. I mean, that makeup was perfect, and Jim Carrey basically made that role. If Jim Carrey didn't play that role wouldn't have been that good, but because of how energetic the guy is with the fast movements and stuff, he nailed that role perfectly. I just don't think the film's as strong as I used to think it is. But, I mean, when you compare it to other Dr. Seuss films, it absolutely is superior.
I think The Grinch is arguably Ron Howard's most fun movie.
It's also his most family-friendly film.
Oh, yeah.
True? Yeah, no, for sure. Okay, Ron. Ron, are you listening? Ronnie Howard. Okay. Now, I like you as a filmmaker, and I think you should tackle every single genre and expand your wisdom and just try everything out. If it doesn't work, don't do it again. And this is exactly what this movie was. Ron Howard, don't ever make a raunchy comedy ever again. I hated the dilemma so much. It was so boring. It was so unfunny. And don't throw that it's got heart shit at the end. It doesn't work. Because they didn't like the whole fucking movie, so don't plant that shit at the end and make me care about them. It ain't gonna fucking work, okay? Like, oh, this movie is painful to watch. And I was like, Ronnie, what the fuck are you doing? Do not make another PG-13 comedy like that ever again. It doesn't work for you. Just stop it. And every single joke that came out of everyone's mouth was awful. Queen Latifah, shut your mouth. Just that movie. Just no. Will, you're up. What are some of the worst ones?
Like I've said earlier, I've not really seen a bad Ron Howard movie, but if I had to pick a least favorite, it probably would be Angels and Demons. To be frank, I liked the way it was put together, set wise. I thought Ewan McGregor was interesting and Tom Hanks was good, but I really have very little memory of the movie. It's just after I watched it, I don't remember much. I remember there being a random twist at the end that made things a little bit more interesting, but that's really truly it. I can't really think of anything really faulty from his work that I have seen. And Angels and Demons is just one that I thought was kind of okay.
I think you nailed it on the head because I don't remember anything from Angels and Demons, and quite frankly, I don't remember anything from the Davinci Code, but I remember the twist. So that's like the only thing I remember. So yeah, no, that's totally understandable. Brian, what are some of your worst ones? Your face is just like just give it. Come on, let's go.
The Davinci Code and Angels and Demons, like I didn't really care for those films. And the other dishonorable mention I have is Far and Away with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. Tom Cruise does this garbage Irish accent. He's like a leprechaun. He acts like a leprechaun, and it's like insane. He's like, Nicole, I want to be with you. Nicole, let's go and play some games. I don't know what to. And I'm gonna run like a leprechaun. I don't know. He's probably gonna do his Tom Cruise one, but in leprechaun form where he skips. He's like,
what the fuck is this?
I told you, it's Tom Cruise as a leprechaun.
It's a nightmare.
So he skips instead of runs.
Yes.
Tom Cruise must always run in his movies, not
exactly. Skip. But my worst is The Dilemma. This was a really disappointing film, like Chase said. This movie really had a good amount of potential. I mean, Ron Howard directing the comedy could have been something really strong, and the cast was actually pretty decent. I mean, you have Vince Vaughn, Kevin James in a Ron Howard film. I remember when I saw the trailer for this, I'm like, why is he in a Ron Howard film? That's a little strange, but okay. Jennifer Connelly came back, so that was cool. Winona Ryder was in this, Channing Tatum was in this, and Queen Latifah. I mean, you had a decent cast, and yet you got a movie that really falls flat. Like, if they marketed it as a very funny movie, be a straight-up comedy with a little tiny bit of drama. Don't just be, oh yeah, 5 minutes comedy, 5 minutes drama, 5 minutes that, skipping back and forth. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, this was a really disappointing film. I think if Ron Howard ever goes back to doing a comedy, he shouldn't do one like this. He should just do like a normal average comedy. Maybe like do what Steven Spielberg did with The Terminal. Maybe do something like that. Or what Martin Scorsese did with Wall Street, I guess. I don't know. Like something like that. Don't make a movie that's going to be like a mix. Just do a straight-up comedy if you want to do a straight-up comedy.
It was weird because it was Ron Howard directing a Vince Vaughn movie. Like, that's what it was.
And the Kevin James movie.
Yeah, it doesn't work, okay? Like, Ron, if you want to try something different, that's fine, but just don't ever dip your toe into the Vince Vaughn, Adam Sandler, Will Ferrell type of movies. It does not work for you, okay? It has that specific audience. It stays over there, and then you need to come over here and try something different. Just I don't know who convinced you to do that. That's my question. Who the fuck convinced you to make this movie? All right, so yeah, with that being said, guys, that will do it for the Ron Howard films for this episode. What are some of your favorite Ron Howard directed films, or what are some of your least favorite? Comment in the place where I'll put my face and let me know. Brian, what is next week's show?
Well, I mean, next week in the tiny little film that comes out, we're going to be doing our top 5 space films. Someone wanted us to do our top 5 Star Wars films, and I'm like, you idiot, there's 6 films. We cannot do 5 Star Wars films. That is complete garbage. And they're like, well, the Clone Wars counts. No, it does not count. It does not count. So yeah, next week we're doing our top 5 space films, and 1 Star Wars film can be included. Just one. Just one.
Oh, that's cool. I won't have...
Now, if we do this next Saturday, here's the deal. I would have already seen The Force Awakens. Chase doesn't see it till Sunday.
No, I actually see it Saturday as well.
Yeah, I thought you said you saw it on... Oh, all right, whatever. If we do this on Saturday, The Force Awakens will be eligible. It will be eligible. Will it count with the original trilogy? That all depends, because when me and him did our boxing episode, we included both the original Rocky and Creed, so we don't know. We'll have to think about that. So yeah, next week, our top 5 space films. Crazy episode, our second to last episode of the year. That's insane.
And I'm just gonna let you guys know, I probably won't have a Star Wars film on there. I'm sorry. I know. You
never know. You never know.
Guys, I'm just not a huge Star Wars fan. I can't do it.
That doesn't mean anything.
Listen, if I am coming up with my list and I can't figure out what the hell I'm gonna do for one of my slots, I'll probably put a Star Wars movie in there because I think they're enjoyable. I'm not going to put them in that category where it's like, oh shit, these are the best space films ever. Let's calm that down. But no, if you guys want to throw a pitchfork at me, that's totally fine. So yeah, next week, guys.
if I were to ever be involved in that sort of scenario, I think this might answer our question of what I might do.
You know, William, this is not anything new. This is not anything new for me. People have been attacking me for years for not loving Star. Guys,
I'm not attacking you.
I'm just saying that if I had top 5 space movies, one of the Star Wars movies would be on there, and I just wanted to point that out while wearing my Kylo Ren helmet.
And hey, guys, listen. I geek out over certain genres, okay? You know, I don't know what it is, but I geek out over other genres. It's okay. We all like different things. And listen, it's not like I don't own them. They're sitting right over there. And plus, the VHSs are right there. So it's not like I despise this franchise, but I do get people's dirty looks when I say, I'm just not really a Star Wars fan. I'm a casual fan. And they're just like, oh my God, you're a communist. And it's like, calm that down. So, yeah, next week, top 5 space films. I'm going to predict it right now. I think Brian's going to have, oh shit, he's not a horror fan, so he won't have Alien. I think Brian will have Gravity.
That's not true. I might have Alien.
We're not a horror fan, though. So
I'm not a hardcore horror fan like you.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I don't think you will have it on there, but we'll see. So that will do it for this week's episode, guys, of Top 5 Saturdays Live. William, I want to thank you for coming on, man. Where can the good people find you online? Well,
I have Twitter at Will Be None, which is the N. The None is spelled N-U-N-N. You can find me on there. And if you want to see what I'm going to be doing next week for a little return from my hiatus, you can subscribe to my channel at YouTube, Will Be None, and that's really it.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for coming on, man. If you ever want to drop by and yell at me some more and we can fight some more, dude, I'm totally up for it. I know, right? I love movie conversations. It's fucking awesome. So,
dude, this has been great.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. So, Brian, where can the good kids find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at BrianSutfield98 and on YouTube at youtube.com/BrianSutfield.
All right, so all of the links in the description will be below, guys. If you want to follow me and yell at me, that's totally fine. Go for it. All right, so we'll see you guys next week for the episode of Top 5 Saturdays Live. I'm Chase Lee.
I'm Brian Sutfield.
That's fucking right. Space movies. I probably won't have a Star Wars movie on there. Sue me. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Let's play the outro music. Oh, yeah. Good old Ronnie Howard, man. He will always be Opie. He will always be fucking Opie. All right. We'll see you guys next week.